Before you even think about placing your next trade, stop and watch this, because what's happening on the markets right now is not business as usual. After a sharp rebound driven by Nvidia's historic $4 trillion surge, and also with Trump's aggressive new tariffs looming just weeks away, well, we are at a critical juncture. The Dow, S&P 500 index, NASDAQ, and even our local STI are all approaching key inflection points. Will momentum continue to hold, or is this just the calm before another storm? Let's dive into the charts and uncover what's really going on beneath the surface. So this is the S&P 500 index, one of the very popular index that a lot of people are watching in, and we are pretty much at a record all-time high right now because we have broken a very key resistance level. So let me just show you where are we right now. We are at about 6,263, right? So I've talked about this very critical resistance level somewhere around the 6,150 to maybe the 6,200 resistance. So over the past week, you can see, right, that was where we were somewhere in like January, February. We neared here and we just sort of 1, 2, 3 times. But over the past week, it seems like we have broken, right, this very key resistance level. So we're like 6,263. That's a bullish sign because we have breached the previous high and we are maintaining above this what we call a new support level. So I would say that right now we are potentially seeing support, right, from 6,150 to maybe even the 6,200 that were previously the key resistance level. So let me just go to remove all these lines and we can draw what we call a support level right over here. So somewhere around the 6,150 or maybe even 6,002. You can see that is what we call a horizontal support level that's came out over the past 1 week. So we have seen strength in the markets, right, due to ongoing de-escalation between China and US in terms of trade tensions. Of course, we have the conflict between Israel and Iran cooling off as well over the past few weeks. And the market is also focusing on some of the strong earnings that were reported by many of the tech companies. So Nvidia has surged to a record high and that's pushed up the index as well together with other tech stocks. So I think right now, we look really bullish above the 6,150 to 6,200 support level. You can see that in terms of the longer term trend, we can look at what we call the 100 days moving average, the red line, and the blue line is the 200 days moving average, right? So you can see that we have been a longer term uptrend since like 2023. However, right, since like beginning of 2025, we saw quite a heavy sell down with Trump introducing tariffs and all that. We went all the way down. February, March, April, we bottomed out and we saw a pretty strong rebound that seems to be still playing out right now. And there are signs of the longer term trend actually starting to turn back up. So you can see, right, somewhere around like April and May, we saw the 100 days moving average starting to actually go down below the blue line. So not so good if it's below the blue line, but you can see that right now over the past 1-2 weeks, there are signs of the 100 days moving average red line potentially turning back up and crossing back above the 200 days moving average blue line. So that could be another confirmation that the longer term trend has regained control in terms of the upwards direction. We could really see even more upside. In terms of the short term trend, well, we want to take a look at what we call the 20 days moving average, and that would be what we call the green line. So you can see the green line right over here since like March, February, we have been going down, but we saw a very strong recovery somewhere around beginning of May, and it starts pointing up. Are we still pointing up? Yes, we are still pointing up right now. So I think the longer term trend looks to be turning up. The short term trend, it is still pointing up, and as long as we stay above this, like 6,150 to 6,200 new support level, we still look bullish. So what can happen right now, guys, is that I can turn on my indicator. So I have this indicator called the One Good Trend Pro indicator, right? So if you want to find out a little bit more about the entire strategy of this indicator, you can attend one of those free webinars. The link is right below the video. But let me just go to turn it on. As I say, we can turn it on for any stocks, any asset classes, even the markets, to get an opinion in seconds on what to do, right? Is there like a bearish signal? Is there like a bullish signal? All right, and that could guide us to get in, all right, to hold on to our winning position, or maybe to get out, right? So let's find out and see what it says. So you can see this is the One Good Trend Pro indicator, and I could turn on the buy and sell signals on any asset classes. Let me just turn it on. 1, 2, 3, pump. And there we go, right? You can see that in a matter of seconds now, all right, we have what we call bearish signals coming out on the chart. So in like somewhere around February, where we got 2 bearish signals. Of course, the short-term trends are pointing down, and down we go, right? We just went all the way down from like about 6,000 all the way to like 5,000 plus, all right? However, somewhere around early of May or end of April, we got one 1 GT bullish signal coming up. So that kind of led the reversal all the way to where we are right now. All right, and let's see, right, from here all the way to here, a 15.41% rise from that first 1 GT bullish reversal signal. And what happens is that over the past 2 weeks, well, we got another 1 GT bullish signal coming out. To be exact, is on the 27th of June, right, as we attempted to break the very key resistance, the 6150 to 6002 that I talk about. So we now have two, not one, but two 1 GT bullish signal playing out. And the question is that, is there any bearish signal out? I mean, is there like a red signal over here coming out? Well, it hasn't come out yet. I have no idea when it'll come out. It could be over here or here or here. I have no idea. But when it comes out, then we will know. All right, we can set an alert. We'll know. And that could be an idea to maybe get out, take some profit, because that's where we can potentially see some selling pressure coming back. So there is still no bearish signal. So that's another confirmation. I think it still looks pretty bullish. The two 1 GT bullish signals are still in play. And if I can quickly turn on, okay, let me just go to turn on another very powerful feature of my one good trend indicator, just to guide me, are we still above this support level? We call it a trailing support level. Let me show you what I mean. So you can see right over here, right? Okay, so we got the first bullish signal, we got the second bullish signal, and you can see that when the first 1 GT bullish signal pops out, right, we got this line, this green line, right at the bottom that actually followed the market, right? It followed S&P 500 index as it moves higher, right? You can see up, flat, up, follow. And we are somewhere over here, and that would be around the 6090, right? Support level. You can see slightly lower. Why? Because this trailing support would be another confirmation. First of all, we're still above it, so that's good, that's fine. And this trailing support kind of like give the market space to breathe. It accounts for volatility as well. And as long as you stay above this trailing support level, right, whereby there's some breathing room. So that would be another confirmation besides the higher horizontal support level at about 6150 to 6200. So let's take a look at some of the targets that can potentially come out. I mean, where we could potentially hit to before, maybe seeing some selling pressure. So let me just go to remove all the drawings, all right, and we can do a little bit of a projection. So I think that, look at here, 6150, all right, we used to be consolidating at this range. Look at this, right? This was kind of like the range that we were consolidating before breaking the support. We got two bearish signals, comes down, and over here, over the past 1 month, we were actually consolidating back at this range. So what we could do is to extrapolate, do a little bit of a extrapolating to see and extend and project kind of like the upside from it breaking the resistance level, all right, around 6150 to 6002. I think upside could be maybe all the way to around, let's just see, I think maybe somewhere around the 6,000. Yeah, I think maybe somewhere around 6,500. You can see somewhere over here. I think that is potentially where we may start to see some profit taking coming back again. So yes, I think overall it looks good, all right, as long as you stay above the trailing support, the 6150 horizontal support, the market still looks bullish. There could still be more legs to this rally. Okay, let's move on to the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones, you can see for Dow Jones, well, we are not really at a record high, right? So for S&P 500 index, we have broken to a new high. But for Dow Jones, well, we are kind of like nearing that level, and this level is key. That will be the 45,000 psychological resistance level. Look at this, right? Since like December, even somewhere in February, we touched a couple of times. We sold off. We got bearish signals. Bearish signal, it starts coming down. All right, of course, after the sell down in March and April, we got a new 1 GT bullish signal, and the rally actually started all the way, right? So we can see we are very, very near what we call this selling zone right over here, just below, all right, just below the 45,000 level, right? So I think it's normal to see a bit of profit taking over here for the Dow Jones, but the key here is this, guys. If I'm not too sure exactly when, but if we can break the 45,000, I can tell you guys, we will probably see a new 1 GT bullish signal as well. It could be even more bullish. It could be like the S&P 500 index, all right, and that's where targets could be revised even higher as well, all right, from the consolidation phase. All right, we could kind of like do a bit of a projection all the way up to maybe even that 48,000. Look at this, right? That could be around the 48,000. I can draw this resistance, all right? So if we break 45,000, 48,000 could be the next upside target. So overall, it looks pretty okay. Short-term trend, look at the green line, is still pointing up, all right? We got a bullish signal. that came out somewhere around early of May, still playing out. I'm watching the 45,000 critical level to see when we will likely breach it. All right, and I've set some alerts. All right, let me go and set some alerts for it. We can breach the 45,000. I would like to be alerted, so you can set some alerts like 45,000, 100, 45,000, 050, right? Anything above 45,000, right? I think you can set some alerts so that if it happens, that's where you could be alerted as well. Let's move on to the NASDAQ, right? The index that tracks some of the top technology companies in the world, right? And you can see that NASDAQ, same thing, we are pretty much at a record high because we have broken a very, very key level. And I think it looks pretty bullish. If this level holds, we could be even more bullish, right? So what is this key level? Let me go to show you right now. I think this key level is the 20, all right, 20,000. Look at this, right? 20,000 was a very key psychological resistance level, right? We went all the way up since 2023, all the way up to 20,000, somewhere around December, January, Feb. Of course, in March, started to sell down. We got a bearish signal. You can see, start selling down after that. And over the past 1 week, 2 weeks, well, we have same thing. We have breached this very key resistance level, all right, that has now turned to a new support level. So price, I mean, for the market right now is 20,611 for the NASDAQ Composite Index. So I can turn this line, red in color, to become green in color, because that would be like the new support level. It's a psychological support level. You can see that it also coincides with where the green 20 days moving average line is. So this green 20-day moving average line gives us a little bit of an idea about the short-term trend, all right? If the line is pointing up, if prices are above it, then we are pretty okay. And you see we got a 1 GT bullish signal coming out as well, right? So you can see a bullish signal came out in end of April, the green line turned up, and there we go, right? I mean, obviously the green line is still kind of like pointing up right now, and you can see it kind of like coincides with the 20,000 psychological support level as well. So I think we're pretty bullish still, right? We're still pretty bullish, all right? Anything above 20,000, it looks pretty good. We can do a little bit of extension to see where we could potentially head to before some selling can come back. So I think a little bit of a consolidation previously from here to here. We could do projection, maybe I would say all the way to like 21,000, 21,500. I think that could be some targets whereby we may see a bit of a profit taking and a bit of a sideways consolidation again, which is healthy, right? We want to see a stock consolidate, pushing up, and this is the market, right? But we don't see the market kind of like not pushing up very quickly every other day, every other week, but it goes up 1-2 weeks, it starts moving sideways for 1-2 weeks, and it goes up even higher and consolidate, and it goes up higher. That will be more healthy, that will be what we call more sustainable in terms of the bullish momentum. All right, let's move on to the final index, and that will be our Singapore's Straits Times Index, the STI. So by the way, guys, as I say, right, you can find out a little bit more about the entire strategy, my one good trend strategy, or perhaps how you can have a tool like this whereby you could just turn on and off and see the bullish or even bearish signals coming out, right, to guide you to get in, all right, when you see a bullish signal, and maybe to get out when you see like a red bearish signal, right? What you want to do is to go to attend a free webinar. The link is right below the video, right? Click on it, register for it, and I'll cover it to share more with you in detail on the entire framework. All right, so let's dive into this Straits Times Index, the Singapore Index. So I think same thing, very key level. The market has been pretty bullish. We saw a lot of strong momentum in many of the stocks that we covered in the Singapore market, like Centurion, Sheng Siong, Hong Leong Asia, lots of stocks, right? And these are some of the top stocks that we shared with our VIP clients in Philips Securities as well. All right, so if you want to get some of our ideas, Singapore ideas, by WhatsApp daily for free at no additional cost. Same thing, the links is right below the video. Check it out. So let's take a look at the STI right now. Right, over the past 1-2 weeks, well, we have breached this very key psychological resistance level. Let me just show you what that level is. I talk about it in our live show as well. Every Friday weekly, we have our AMES live show. So this is a key level. That will be the 4,000 psychological resistance. So when we neared it, I mentioned that's where we could see some selling, right? But if we break the 4,000 psychological resistance, that would be a good thing, right? That would be a good thing. It will be a start of more bullish momentum, and then targets could be revised even higher. So over the past 1 over week, well, finally, right, we have broke the 4,000 psychological resistance, whereby we were right over here, then we sold down, right? That was in April. But we have finally broken above the 4,000. Now we are 4,075, which is above 4,000. So it's pretty good, right? Pretty good. As long as we stay above the 4,000, it looks good. Let me just turn this 4,000 from a resistance to a new higher horizontal support level, all right over here. And let's take a look at the trend. So you can see that for the STI, Singapore's market, well, the long-term trend has been very intact, right? Very resilient. Look at the red and blue since like last year, red above the blue, both pointing out, right? Whereas for the Dow Jones, even the S&P 500, well, the red line actually went below the blue, right? Because there's a quite heavy sell down, right, in like February, March, and April. But for the STI, well, the 100 days moving average rate line all the while has been above the blue, right? So longer term trend has been very steady, gradual, pointing up, all right? In the short term, yeah, we did see a sell down in April. We got a bearish signal. The green line was pointing down, but we got a new 1GT bullish signal. Reversal happened. The green line started to point up as well. Let's take a look at the green line. You can see the green 20 days moving average line has started to point up a little bit as well. I mean, it was like actually kind of flattening out somewhere around like June. You can see a little bit of it moving sideways, right? But what happens over the past week as we broke the 4,000? Well, this green line has started to slope up as another confirmation. So that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing. I mean, now not just the longer term trend is up, the short term trend is also pointing up. Plus, we are above the 4,000 psychological support level. So to get another confirmation, what I could do right now is also to kind of like turn on the trailing support level. All right, as I say, this is a trailing support, very powerful feature that we have on my 1GT Pro indicator. And you can see, right, since the bullish signal actually came out somewhere around April, well, the trailing support popped out and STI started to push up. It followed it as it moved up, right? Up. And right now, you can see it is starting, it was a little bit flat, all right? And you can see, right, we actually retraced back down and it rebounded and pushed away from the trailing support somewhere on the 23rd of June, right? So push away and you can see it starts moving up. Of course, the trailing support is following it over the past 2 weeks as it moves higher. Are we above the trailing support? Yeah, we're still above it. And you can see that this trailing support, which is right over here, kind of like coincides with the psychological 4,000 level as well, which is this green line that I drawn. So you can see this 4,000 I think is very critical. As long as we stay above 4,000, I think the uptrend remains intact. There could be more bullish momentum. Target could be revised higher. Let's see to where, right? I think we can see a bit of a consolidation from here to here. You can see that was where we consolidated in February, March. Same thing over here as well. We can do a little bit of a projection upwards. So somewhere around the 4,150 or maybe 4,002. I think that could be where some profit taking or selling can come back again. So that's it, guys. I pretty much covered the S&P 500 index, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, and Singapore's STI. So I hope you have a better idea of where we are right now for each of the markets, and more importantly, what are some of the key levels you want to put in your watch list, right? As long as we stay above these support levels I talk about, we could still see more bullish momentum, right? The uptrend could still continue. We may even turn into what we call a bull market, right? So watch these support levels, all right? Look at the targets as well that I mentioned, whereby I know some selling can come back. You can take some profit near there as well. Nothing wrong to lock in some profits. But I hope you have a better idea in terms of the trend in the short term, and of course, based on the bullish signals that have appeared, all right, for all the markets over the past 1-2 months. So if you like this video, guys, go to give me a like, all right? Smash the subscribe button as well. All right, make sure you subscribe so that you will not miss out on any of the new videos that we share. And also when we go live on our Friday weekly Ask Me Any Stock session, you will be alerted as well, right? So, yep, I hope you like this video. And as I say, right, guys, you want to find out a little bit more about the entire strategy, click on the link below the video in the description, attend my free webinar, and I can't wait to share with you guys a little bit more about the entire One Good Trend strategy and how this indicator, the 1GT Pro indicator, has helped not just me, but my mentees and my graduates as well. Joey here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon.